We're moving, we're vibing. While we're talking, you can get your laugh on. Watch the channel of a video. Subscribe, like and follow. Chillin with the girls, with the girls, the girls, with the girls, chillin with the girls.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Welcome to another episode of Chillin with the Girls. I believe episode 16. Woo!
Yay.
Season 2. So, Mom, what is this show about today?
Since school has opened, we thought that perhaps we would look back in the day and just how school was back in the day. What was allowed back there today is not allowed. And I thought about the days when I started school back in the late 40s and how the worst things that we could do was maybe the boys would throw spitballs, or they'll take my plaque and put it in the inkwell in their desk. And it was just so different.
Inkwell.
And the teachers could...
You had an inkwell?
Yes, and what it was, you had the desk and a bench that will hold two people or either one person. And the back of your seat was the desk for the next person in the back of you. And if you go to, you go to the museums in DC, you will see this how the desks were. So you have four people could share that. You have the seat, then you have the desk, which was the back of your seat, and it went back like that. And so then on your desk, you would have a little hole in your desk that would hold your ink. And when you had fountain pens, you could do the fountain pens and fill up the little tube in your ink pen with ink. But we were in elementary school, so none of us had ink pens or fountain pens. But the hole was just vacant, and he could take my plaque I was sitting in front of him and could put my plaque down inside a hole and play with my plaque. I had long braids. And I wouldn't tell the teacher. I was so bad. Everybody in the room were cousins almost, because it was one teacher taught 6 classes by herself. And I was in one room together. So I would go home and tell my mother that this boy was messing with my hair. So she would write my cousin, who was a teacher, a letter, say, will you move my daughter and don't let her step in front of that boy, and blah, blah. So then my teacher I gave her the letter, and she would say, well, where you want to sit, Lorraine? I said, I want to sit beside Betsy because I like her hair. She had little hair with cornrows, and I wanted cornrows in my head. So she let me sit beside Betsy. So that was back in the day. And that's a big story. It's so interesting. But I was thinking about I looked online and it talked about the schools in the 80s and the 90s. And if y'all ladies have your paper, I'm going to read one that was so funny. So funny. Well, it's so many that was so funny. It says, oh my goodness. I had my chair taken away for half the year by my 8th grade teacher. And what she did, she would this guy would rear back in his chair and be on two legs, but the teacher took the chair away from him for half a year. So he had no chair to sit in. So either he had to stand or sit on the floor. And there were no consequences. So that was one of the things they did.
You said with no consequences.
To the teachers, they could do that. And
didn't get in trouble.
And that's what. And here's a kid that would like fight or something, and the teacher would lecture, would knock the child down or something, or spank the child with a ruler. And guess what happened? It was so funny. Oh my goodness. this boy was sneaking his lunch in class. This was back in the 80s. And
Mm-hmm.
during class time. And the teacher said, bring me that lunch up here. So the
She ate.
teacher took the boy's lunch and ate it in front of the class. Ate the boy's lunch.
Did he
And
tell
the
his
boy had
mom?
no, and the boy went home, told his mother. The mother came up to the school, was angry, and guess what? Nothing happened. They just let it go.
So why was that funny if nothing happened? I thought the mom probably beat.
No, no, it was funny that the teacher would eat this, in the
Oh,
classroom. Look like nowadays, I'm gonna sue you, but nothing happened. As a matter
well,
of fact, they expected the teacher to like spank the children or get a switch, get a ruler or something, or make them stand in the corner. And they couldn't go home and tell the parents this. But you know why? You
why?
know why?
They would
The
get in
parents
trouble.
would spank. The parents would spank them too. If you got in trouble in school, you got in trouble at home. So usually, it was like a lot of guys getting in trouble. Sometimes the girls too. But usually they say, "I'm not telling my mother." No, because that would have been a double punishment. But see, in those days, the school, the church, and the home worked together. And
That's true.
Monday morning when we came to church, to school, part of our assignment was to stand up and tell what you learned in Sunday school. That was like
At
a Monday
school?
morning assignment.
Was it the same place? Was the school the church?
No,
Oh,
no, the church was a real church building. The school was down the road and back in the woods. So
oh,
we
okay.
we had, we all walked for like some miles, I guess. Walked down the road and went back up in the woods.
Come on, you didn't
And
even have anything exciting that happened in your class, in your school, pretty
it
much,
was
right? Somebody
exciting.
put some ink, put your hair in some ink, like just a
That was
piece of
a
your hat or ponytail or something. That's not. So nowadays we have to worry about guns in the schools and
oh yeah.
parents. Like I remember, Mom, when we were in school, you told the teacher to spank us. I wish Tawanda was on here. I know Tawanda had family had a loss. If you're listening, Tawanda, maybe you could like even chime in or comment off of this. And Tawanda told the teacher, like, Mom, she made you look big and bad one time because she was like she had to go to the bathroom. Remember that? And
No.
the teacher was like, "You can't go out." And she got up and walked out the bathroom and said, "My mom told me if I have to go to the bathroom, just walk out of the class."
What?
Yes. And she got up and walked out of the class. And I'm like, I don't know. My thing is, Tori showing his face. Let me show her face. My thing is about that. Mommy would never. As a matter of fact, Mom, didn't you spank your children in this class in the school?
Just one boy. Just
Was
one
it
boy.
Sam?
No, it was Willie. And guess
Oh,
what? I
what?
started crying right in the classroom. Both of us was crying. I was crying real hard because I didn't want to do
Why
it.
were why were you
Because it hurt me to spank him like that. But
oh,
I pulled his pants down and I just
in
was
front of the
spanking
whole
him.
class?
Yeah.
That would traumatize a child, Mom.
But it didn't traumatize him.
Yes, I think it did. Willie,
But
were
see
you
what happened?
traumatized?
See, but you know what? Even the teacher like put his hand around his throat like he was going to choke him, and the other teachers told, and I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I just saw a roach on the floor," and I said, "There's the teacher's father." So and the teachers got upset with this man for like putting his hands on my son. But I
You
said, "You had no
didn't get
business
upset
saying
either.
that,
You didn't get upset.
huh?"
You didn't get upset with the teacher for choking your son.
Yes, Willie was upset. I
But
mean, Willie was upsetting. He
but
was
you
real
didn't get
smart.
upset. It was okay for a teacher to choke your child. And you didn't
No,
say
it
I think
wasn't.
it's inappropriate. So what did you do?
No,
You didn't say anything?
no.
He ain't die. He all right.
Oh, Mel,
Then
if
another
someone
child,
if
they
a
let him.
teacher wait a minute, Mel, if a teacher choked Ronald, what would you do?
Well, I wouldn't have to do nothing because Ronald would take care of it.
Oh,
No, he's a little boy. He's like 8 or 9.
I wouldn't have had to do nothing. He's like, you got it.
That's a shame.
But I know sometimes they would tell tales on the children, though. They did. They would.
Mom, so what made you think about this topic? How did this come
Huh?
about? I said, Mom,
Mommy.
how did this topic come about?
Well, I think it came about because the times are now in school, and I saw the news this week that some school they're trying to bring back corporal punishment in school,
For
like
real?
a paddle.
Where?
Yeah, I just heard that this week. They
For
want to
real?
start. Yeah, they will have to get the consent from the parents that they can do this. Um, I know it wasn't a lot of backlash and suitcases, and
Yeah.
it was not a lot of trauma in school like it is today. Today is the kids, they just have so much freedom to curse, to just dare
I
people,
think
and
because
no
what happens in their
consequences.
home, what happens in the homes,
Yeah,
that's what you get in the
yeah.
classrooms.
Well, they brought
Mhm.
that topic, that subject up on the radio. I was listening to the radio, and they were
Yeah,
talking about the corporal punishment. It's in Missouri, I believe.
yeah.
And they were asking the audience, how did they feel about it, whatever. And one of the listeners, it was a great response. She said that, with her child, she said she doesn't mind it for the corporal punishment, whatever. They have to have an agreement between the teacher and also the parent. She said, however, she thinks before they, adopt the corporal punishment in schools, they need to put prayer back in school. Because
That's good.
Okay.
she said, these children need God. And she said, before, back in the day, when they did have that, they were God-fearing teachers and,
Yeah.
God-fearing parents and things like that. So that's why, everybody worked together now. But now, people don't fear God. They're not
Yeah.
godly
Right.
people. And, and then the parents, they're on the same level as their kids. They like, we friends, we buddies or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you better not touch my child. And they will say that in front of their children. And they'll say anything in front of their children. And so the kids are like a sponge. So they pick up everything
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're saying. So, but I thought that was a great point that she made. Before they do this, they should put prayer back in the school.
Yeah. Because
And also the teachers were viewed as the parents away from home. They care so much.
they don't care now. They don't. It's just a dollar.
They had the Bible on the desk, and then they had the child. You open up the school with a hymn, and then with a scripture,
And a prayer
then
too,
the
right?
pledge to the flag. Then they started declaring nobody put anything on top of the Bible. The Bible stayed on the desk, and they were so in tune. They wanted you to learn, and they would keep the deodorants in their desks in case you forget your deodorant. And some of the guys had to wear, in some classes, the guys had to wear neckties, and the teachers would have neckties in their drawers. If the kids forgot to bring a necktie to school, if you forgot to put on your deodorant.
Oh,
And then and she says, I don't have to be here. Just go to my desk and get the deodorant out. I don't have to see you using it. They just cared about you.
And also they said that once you cross the threshold of the school, they had the 10 commandments. So that was in their face too. When they came to school, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So they had the 10 commandments, they said, in the schools, and they took that down as well. So it said that probably, they were saying how that could have helped so many students, because when you walk there, this is in your face. So when you see something like that every day, but my thing is, why would you take something like that out of school?
Yeah,
Because,
but it's not all teachers, though, you guys. I mean, there are some God-fearing teachers that are there. We just need
Yeah.
more. We just need more of them.
But
I
see
mean?
what happened with that? They have different types of cultures that's coming in that came in the country that
Right.
didn't worship Jesus or God like we do, and you like infringing on their liberty, and they would fuss about that. And it's something. You have a class of 40 children, and
Yeah.
one child can move into the city, and because they don't believe in God, they can change the whole scenario for everybody else. It's not like the majority rules. It's one person. And then did you read about the satanic programs they have in after school? They're going to states with this. Last week they were in Philadelphia, and they allow them to have the programs after school, not during school. And some of the parents got upset, and they're
Yeah.
teaching about Satan. And the man sounds so nice. He said it's just teaching them something else. And because you got nice people everywhere, and these people are nice people, and they need to know different things, not just be stuck on. And so the lady said they took God out of school. Now they're bringing Satan in school.
Well, they did
And
that because they have Christian clubs, and they said it wasn't fair. So the atheists were saying, like, it's not fair that y'all can have Christian clubs, but we can't have our clubs.
No, you know what the woman said? Say
Right.
if they're going to teach a Bible study, uh, somebody had to have a vehicle and take the children off of the premises of the school and teach them, and then bring them back. Like if they have
Right.
a time, but the Satan people can use the facilities of the school after school,
Yeah,
and
for
so
their
and
for their for their for their meetings and stuff, for their
yeah,
groups.
but what they say, well, whoever wants to pay to use the school can use the school. It's a public place, so you can pay to use it.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. So if we don't have stuff set up in our home, have different, things set up like that, to teach
And
our
that's
kids.
yeah.
Mm,
That's probably why the Catholics started their schools, and you have Christian
yeah.
schools and stuff like that. So the only way to really get a handle on stuff is to start your own
Mhm.
program.
And
You
homeschooling, they
Homeschooling.
say
Yes.
parents are doing that. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
homeschooling is hard. I can't imagine homeschooling children. Oh,
I would love it. I would just
I know
love to
you
do it.
would.
Oh, but back in the day when we wanted to do it, it was outlawed. They were talking about jail time and stuff like that. Did it? And one thing you taken away from the public school, I'm thinking, be they are funded, I guess, according to the attendance in school. So
But it
you
says
taking,
that affects their social skills too.
but you know what, Tish? You know what I'm thinking about that. Now you have some families, like I think like the Winans, I hate to call it name, big families. That's all they had was like private things, homeschooling, and there were so many of them. They were socialized. They had camps. They had we went on trips, and it was so we had social skills. Now we know we did. And so, but in the public school, you got all kind of skills coming in there,
Yeah.
all kinds of
So,
mixed
Ma,
in.
why didn't you homeschool us?
I told you it was outlawed. It was against the law. They had to fight for that. And
Back then?
by the time they passed the law, y'all were already in school.
Because I was born in '66, so they passed the law in what, the '70s?
I don't know when it was passed, but I know during that time, I would love to have done it.
Yeah,
But
because
but with public school, but homeschooling now, you have to stick to your curriculum. You got to be dedicated to it. You would have to get up like 6 and eat your breakfast. You have to do everything. But some people just kind of lax with it.
yeah,
Everybody's not cut out to
mine
do
did.
that, I don't think.
I don't think they are either. But
Mhm.
it was hard for me in school because I was just teased a lot, wearing dresses
Oh,
all the time. And I was like, Mom, they ask me, why am I wearing dresses? And Mom is like, tell them it's against your religion. And so when I gave them that answer, they were like, well, what is that? So it was real bad. I couldn't wait to get out of school because it was so
But let
bad.
me tell you, when I went to school, we couldn't wear more than 2 slips on our dresses.
Huh?
No, because in those days you wore hoop skirts and crinoline skirts, you know, and
What's
they
a
were like
crinoline
I said, crinoline skirts were the
Queen,
slips, crinoline slips under
wide,
your, and your dresses would be out like that, and you walk
like
up the steps, you
Cinderella?
know, yeah, something like that. And
Oh, that's
so, and
cool.
yeah, we would have the crinoline slips under our skirts, and then it was like the cool thing, I guess.
Everybody had that on.
No,
So
they didn't.
all the
Everybody
girls
didn't.
had that on. So Tish is saying
That they
she was
did.
the oddball. She the one that stood out.
Right.
So it was different back in your day because that's
You
all
know
the clothes
what?
they had.
You know what? There were a lot of girls wearing dresses. You know that and they were cute little dresses too.
I
They
know,
were
but when
wearing.
I went to
All
school,
the
they
time.
didn't. They were wearing pants. Remember, Mel? Come on now. When we went to
Yes.
school, they weren't wearing dresses. They were. So
Right.
what
All
I
the
did
time.
was, because I didn't understand what's against my religion, because the rules didn't make sense to me in the first place, and then the answer really didn't make sense to me. So in high school, I just wore heels and dresses all the time. Then they started complimenting me because they're like, "Oh man, you dress," because I was in a business what is it called now? Curriculum or whatever. What is it?
It was
I think
your
it was
business.
like business. Huh?
A trade or something.
No, not the trade.
It
So
was a business curriculum.
it's a curriculum, business curriculum. So curriculum. So I took up typing, shorthand, all that kind of stuff. And so I dressed the part. And so that's how I kind of like, but they still tease you. Then they were like, you a virgin, da 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 da, and all. Look how you walk, like, because children can be really mean. And I think it's because of what happens in their home and stuff. So they bring that, so it's not really towards us, but it's really towards what they're going through at home, I think, as a result of what they're going through at home.
But how about this? This person had a teacher that threw foam balls at them if they fell asleep in class. They just throw at them to wake them up. But it was like little foam balls. It wasn't heavy.
What year was that?
That's back in the 80s and the 90s.
See, I don't know what school this was. Maybe it was I don't remember anything like that in our schools. I went to Northern High School, and they called it Northern Get High.
Oh.
I think they even put, didn't they they wrote it with spray paint next to the school. So it was like Northern High.
Get High.
Get High. Yes, because one girl in my class, I think she turned like 17 years old, and she brought this photo album, a book photo album, and she was like, look what my parents gave me, and we're going to smoke this. She had a book of joints.
What?
That her father gave her mom and stuff. They would club together and all that kind of stuff. So they brought all that attitude inside the classroom. You know what I mean? So
now we did in high school. Now I came out in 1960. They didn't have kids on weekends. They would come to school with scrapes and scratches, talking about the fights they were in, on weekends, and how they got drunk. That was back in the 60s then. But I started school in the late 40s. And so they did stuff like that.
I know what happened in the 60s.
I told you what happened in the 60s. And then if you got in family way, that was another thing.
What's family way, Mom? What are you, if you got pregnant, is that pregnant?
Or they would say you got in trouble. When you got in trouble, or in
the family's way?
Yes.
No, in family way. Or
what does that even mean?
Or if you got in trouble, well, you have to. Well, most time they send the kids out of town, all the way down south someplace.
What's in trouble? Like a whooping or something? You got punished?
She can't say it, Mel.
I understand.
It's my religion.
I can't understand.
But that's how they would talk back in those
You
days.
got
And
in
Well, this is
family
2022.
way.
So what are you talking about? Like
but
our viewers be like,
some
what
people
is she
would say
talking
that
about?
you broke.
You what?
Some people would say, well, somebody like broke their leg, something like that, and so then you wouldn't see them anymore. And then after a
Broke their
while, you may
leg.
see them in the next couple of years, and they'll come back to. And then one particular girl came back to class, but we
Y'all
didn't
need
know her. She stayed away, and then she came
Mm-mm.
back. And
that's
then
why
guess what? They wouldn't let you graduate, so
for
you
real.
had to just. It was sad. It was sad.
But now what's so good about it? Like if you in the family way,
We don't know what that means.
you go when you get if you get pregnant like out of wedlock or whatever, they have schools to teach you, you know,
Yeah.
budgeting, how to raise your children, how to change diapers and all that, how to be a mother. And then you can literally bring your child to that school with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so that's helpful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It was a big. And guess what? Before we graduated, we all had to go to the nurse's office. You know, let them know that you were okay. You were able to graduate. And one particular girl went
You
all the
gotta
way
take
to
a
12th
pregnancy
grade.
test.
It was not a test. They were just actually
Well, how they
questions and
know?
different things.
They just
Because
ask you
you
if
were,
you okay. I'm okay. You okay?
and then now one
I'm
particular
fine. How
girl,
are you?
Jeez. I've always been okay. How about you?
I'm fine. How are you doing? You okay? Now, that's
I'm
your
okay.
interview. Are you okay? I'm okay. Are you
think
okay?
I'm okay. I feel like I'm okay. How you doing?
Well, go ahead, Mel. You can graduate since you
How's
okay.
the family? Is the family okay? What?
All right, Mel. You're allowed to graduate. And so, if you're not okay and wasn't in the family way, then you can graduate. Did they
oh
ask you,
yeah,
were
you
you
good?
okay?
Huh?
Did they ask you, were you okay?
No, they did not.
So you didn't have to go in the nurse's office.
No.
Why?
Because the way she looked, they was like, I know she okay. She ain't in nobody family way.
It was only for those fast-tailed girls, Mom.
But you know what I think it was with this
What?
particular girl? She was the queen of the sweetheart ball.
Okay.
And then and her boyfriend was the captain of the
Hopefully
football
y'all not
team.
looking at this show.
And so and what happened, they say that her best girlfriend probably told the nurse on her or something because
Oh, but you
they
act,
like
Mom, this is what you act like. You act like they took all the girls and had a line
Right.
outside the nurse office.
Well,
like,
let me
all
tell
the
you about
girls
that
come
though.
here
You
before
know
they can
what?
graduate
Let me
and
tell
ask
you.
them if they were okay. What?
But it was you did have a periodical checkup. You had nurses on the premises. Not a checkup, but they would question you. It was periodically. They had nurses on their school.
And did they question you?
No,
What?
I probably saw the nurse maybe
Not
once
in the
or
family
twice.
way. She asked the nurse if she could help them question the people.
And something else my mother did. When my mother wasn't always saved, you know. So after she got saved, she went to my high school and told them they had to take me at a gym because and so they asked her. She went to the office. I was with. They called me in the office. Say I wanted to come at a gym, and they want to know why. Because she used to take gym. She said, "Oh no, I have more knowledge now. You know, I got more knowledge, and she's not supposed to take gym." So guess what? They let me stop taking gym for a while. So
I
I
think
to
oh, go ahead.
so
I'm
that
sorry.
gym period, I was able to help the teachers with the chalkboard, with the paperwork,
I
and they
knew
gave me a
it.
little money for lunch money. For a
We
whole,
just,
so when I got ready to graduate, I had to do swimming, which I never learned, but I did enough
Jean
just to
skirt.
graduate.
Mel said you just swim in a jean skirt.
That's right.
No,
That's the
guess
way you
what?
dress.
Before I went to before my mother had more knowledge, when I took gym, she
Oh,
went to the store and found me a gym suit that looked like a skirt with some shorts under the skirt. But my
What
gym
that
suit
style?
was different from anybody else's gym suit. So that's
Did
what
that
I
affect you
wore.
mentally when you grew up?
Say what?
Did it affect you mentally when you grew up having to dress like
No.
that?
I
Like
think it did because sometimes it's showing her face.
You funny, Mel.
Sometimes.
I mean, like she thinking about it. Why they
Right.
do that? Why I have to dress like that? And why am I still dressing like that? Lord, I just don't
Can't
understand.
help it. And I was never in the way. I was never in the family
I was
way.
never in the family way. And I was all right, always all right. Okay.
Stop, y'all. Just stop it.
I'm just saying.
It's all
Oh,
coming
guess
out.
what? I got another one. Did you read this? I had a high school Spanish teacher tell me after class one day that she wouldn't say anything if I sucker punched this one annoying bully in the class that she also hated. Wasn't that terrible?
Did
No.
you say sucker?
It's a sucker
He
punch.
did, Mel. Mom cursing
Yeah,
on
if
us.
I heard
I
it.
sucker-
Forgive us.
no, if I sucker punched.
Please forgive Mother Mary.
But what is that?
Said the S word.
No, it's SUCKER punch.
Mm-hmm.
It's not lollipop. I'm just saying.
You call
And
him
it say she
somebody.
could and say it was all right if he punched this child.
But I
Oh,
think that's
another
fine.
thing.
What's wrong with that? If he was Tori said, beep it out.
And another thing they could do to your children if they had
What?
a loose tooth in school, and said the teacher could like pull your tooth with her hand, just get her nail under your tooth and pull it out
What's
for
wrong
you,
with that? I don't
and they give
understand.
you a lollipop.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused.
I'm confused too. We're in the same boat.
Mal, so you have any experience school and while you were in school? Do you have any experience or anything
I was not in the family way. I was.
Go ahead, Mal. Tell us about your experience in school.
I had no experience in school.
But I have a question because I can't remember. When we came from school and you asked us, how was your day? Did you ever ask us, how was your day?
I don't
When we came
remember that. I probably said it around the dinner table. You know, at the
Okay,
dinner
and did
table
we
discussion.
respond? Did we talk? Did we say like, all right? Or did we say one word or like more than one word?
No, when you came from school, you were to change your school clothes, put on your play clothes, do your homework. Then you played, and then we did a lot of talk around the dinner table. Then we did after before Dad coming from work. Sometimes we had school in the study room. Remember the family room?
Yeah,
I know
we
you
did
never asked us how was your day.
No.
But sometimes no, y'all would just
I
talk
don't
about
remember
it.
that.
You just talked about it. That Renee would talk about in the fashion show and say, Tisha, and you would complain, Tisha, that you didn't have a lot of friends, but Renee had a lot of friends in school. But you didn't have a lot of friends.
I still don't have no friends.
And then you won because they had the fashion show and you won the first prize.
I won the fashion show?
Yeah. And then the
Wow.
girls said it wasn't fair that you won. You shouldn't have won
Why?
because you always come dressed anyway. So you shouldn't have won.
I don't remember.
But now Renee was able to be something like a model.
She didn't win the
taught
fashion
her.
show. I know she didn't win the
No,
fashion.
but she was different. She would
Very different. Eccentric.
She would put rollers in her hair and have a scarf around her hair.
But
and go to
Mom,
school
that
like
was
that.
she started that trend. She started
And then
that trend.
after she went to school, she would go in the bathroom and comb her
And
curls
let
out.
me tell you, she started that trend, right? Because when she was on the bus stop, if it rained, she kept her rollers in her hair and had her stocking cap on, all that kind of stuff.
Not no stocking cap, it was a scarf.
I'm saying a scarf, you know. And so when she went into the bathroom, she took the rollers out, she did her hair, and the girls were like, wow, like her hair didn't get messed up. So she kind of like started that trend of people wearing rollers, but that's not a good. I just think when you come out the house, you should not have rollers in your hair. You should always come out right. Like you should be dressed. I don't think you should. You should always put your best foot forward at all times.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you, Mom. Remember that time?
But she was different. She was all of y'all are different, really. You have your own characteristic. You're
I think
unique.
it was like
You're
special.
very unique. And then what she did, she saved me money because you pay class dues. She didn't have to pay her class dues because they told them if you sold candy, that money you made for selling candy was subtract from your class dues. But the kids didn't want to sell candy. But one child would sell candy. You know who that was?
Renee.
That was Renee. And she would make a sign and put down her in the front of her clothes or in the back, candy like $1. And she wore that sign on the bus stops and people would be following the car. Let me see
It's
that
not
sign.
in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
still
she
be
was
wearing signs
and the
sometimes.
kids in high school would buy from her. They would buy her candy and they didn't want to sell. So as a result, she didn't have to pay class dues because she sold so much candy. And
I
right
didn't-
today, she would sell tickets for me. She used to go like my fundraisers.
That's why I tell people
She
I
was
don't do
good at
that.
it. I know Tish said I'm not doing that. But everybody's different.
So
It
did
is
she make
okay.
a trend with the sign, wearing the sign too? Because now people holding up the sign.
No.
I'm trying. Renee is famous.
Girl, you go down Baltimore, man. Go downtown. You see everybody holding those signs like Renee.
Holding them signs.
Because I remember them holding the signs back in the day on the
They
street.
No, she didn't hold the sign. She had her books in her hand. The sign was like pinned on her clothes, like on her blouse, on the back, like that. So
What?
candy
Did you put it
for
on the back?
$1. Yeah, $1. And they would say, "What's that sign?" And so they would in their cars, they would give her $1 for candy. And she sold her candy, took it to church and sold it. She had no shame about that. She was, getting her class dues paid.
Mm.
Yeah.
School days. Oh my goodness. Anybody
And
have
then
any?
one young girl lived in Cherry Hill. She didn't have, now she would catch the bus, but I walked. I didn't have 15 cents for car fare, but she would walk and she didn't have a lunch money. Now she would pin on her clothes, do you have a penny? And we had like 1,000 children in school, in the whole school, high school. And she walked all during the time and she got so many pennies. She had money for her lunch, money for coffee, and that's what she did. Ask
And you
for
know
a
what,
penny.
Mom? Today I was thinking to put on my Facebook page and my YouTube page. Everybody, I need 1 million people to give me just $1. That's it. Not a lot of money. I want 1 million people to just give me $1.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened? 1 million people give you a quarter or a nickel.
Mom, why you always gotta go
$1.
all the way down?
Oh, my goodness.
Ain't that just crazy? Lord,
Yeah.
Jesus, help us.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised.
We don't
You'd
even
be
know what. Don't nobody have nickels. You can't cash out nobody a nickel.
I have a nickel.
You can't cash app a nickel.
Ma, you
No, you
gotta
can't.
really change your
You
mindset.
cash out. You can cash out what, 50 cents or $1?
Really?
You have to change your mindset, man. I said 1 million people give me $1. He was like, well, how about if 1 million people give you 5 cents?
Or a
It's
penny.
not the same.
How about a half a penny? Like, what? Anything you can say, I can say better.
All right, Melanie.
Woo, anything you can do. No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Woo! That is so funny. So my
In the eighth grade, the science teacher calls the kid to the front of the room for some minor infraction, fussing or fighting. She had him to bend over, then kick him in the backside. The student stepped out of the way just in time before the teacher could kick him, and the teacher kicked the blackboard tray, sending the chalk flying everywhere instead of kicking the child. The
okay.
humiliation was on the other foot. Then, as the teacher chased the kid around the room a few laps, and it was chaos. And then we played basketball. In one class, they said they played football and uh, dodgeball in the classroom. They just did stuff, you know.
Lord Jesus. Who told you these stories?
I emailed it to you. It came off.
She
That's
left
a
them up on
movie.
mine. Man, we apologize to virtual land.
It was Reddit user, the sandwich sister.
Yeah, we don't want Reddit users.
And look, this is another one Bobby sent us. I told my biology teacher, I was like, Lord Jesus, let me read it. I told my biology teacher that I thought this was going to be stuff that happened like in school, you know, like the difference between, 1930, because you went to school 1930 to 1960.
No, I did 1940s.
I mean, 1940. Right. And so I thought we were going to talk about like the difference and everything versus 1940 versus today. You know what I mean? So we got all this stuff. So I told my biology teacher that I wasn't feeling too well. He said I didn't look sick. As a punishment, he made me stand in the corner until I fainted. What in the world?
Now, these were some of the things that they got away with.
That's
now, see, I don't think we could do a lot of bad stuff because we have responsibilities. Back in the country, before you went to class, the big girls had to clean up the school. They had to sweep the floor, and the boys had to go to spring and get water.
And
some had to go get. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. How do you feel about remember the teacher got into a fight with the student? Because I think the student hit the teacher or something, and she just went ham on her. What do you think she should have gotten in trouble for that? You think she should have gotten in trouble?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
If the student was big and hit her and hurt her, you don't think she should have fought back? What did y'all think, Rachel, man?
There was a time you mean the teacher had a knocked her in the floor. She lost her job though.
She did.
So you said the student was fighting the teacher.
Yes.
And the teacher fought back.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I would have.
So do you think the teacher should get in trouble?
No.
I don't think that a teacher should have
I think there should have been like a mediator or something.
Yeah.
Just to find out what was going on, but I don't think the teacher should get in trouble, because what if the student would have killed her or something? And what if the student would have hit her?
The student was big. It was a big student.
Yeah.
But what they did
hit her so bad that she was, incapacitated or something. And you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
I don't think a teacher is just going to sit there and just let a student just beat on her and not.
But you know what? The children, I think they ganged up and told the tale of how children get together, and of course they're gonna believe the children.
But it was a video. They was a video, Mom.
But they were saying that the teacher said something derogatory about the child. It probably hurt the child's feelings.
I think it was probably a history that should have been resolved, that people should have sat down, like Mel was and talked. Mel said and talked to them.
They did. They had trials and stuff. They did, but they still believed.
She got fired.
Yeah, and then the children backed the girl up. So how children have
that's what I'm saying. How do you feel about cameras in the classrooms?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. But I mean, I think it is. Cameras and how about the systems where what you call it when you walk through, detectors and stuff like that? I think you should have that. Then they talked against that. say the children need their freedoms, and you don't take their rights from them, and you letting them, and you go through these systems. If you have a gun, it will pick it up. And what about this? I believe parents should frisk their kids before they go to school. Let me see what's in your book bag. Let me see
But
what.
you know what? That
Yeah.
doesn't matter because the kids can get it from other places or other people or whatever. So even if they don't have anything in their book bag before they leave the house, they can get it from somewhere else.
Especially if they're in the game, they can get it from the.
Yeah, but it could be a good deterrent sometimes because, like the little boy in Detroit, he just walked right. He had it right in his backpack, and his parents was right there, and he was having trouble. And he had the backpack in the office, and nobody thought to ask, let's look in your backpack.
Guess what time it is? Go ahead, the weapons.
Oh, my goodness.
Guess what time it is?
Thank you, Lord.
Pet peeve time, Mom.
Yeah.
Pet peeves.
Yeah. I guess it'd be a pet peeve. You let your mom get something for the talk shows because I'm too old fashioned, huh? That'd be the girl's pet peeve.
No, the pet peeve would be all your stories gotta be about 50 cent, 5 cent, 15 cent bus rides.
I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's not working this time. There we
because
go.
See, I'm back in the day when everything was so much reasonable.
But you're not
I
back.
know, Mom, but you're not back in the day. That's my pet peeve when people won't get out of the day.
You're back in today. Today.
Yeah,
not
my pet peeve is when people are stuck
Lord.
in the past. Like, come on up.
Lord,
like when people have like, okay, you got to pay a fee if you come to Sunday school. The teacher come to Sunday school, like y'all got to pay a fee. So how much is the fee? A nickel. And this is like 2020,
right.
and grown people paying a nickel for teachers who coming in late to teach Sunday school. It shouldn't be a nickel.
Who does that?
No, you weren't here, Mom. Mom. Okay, Mom. Mom, you do that. Anybody out in virtual land have any pet peeves? We haven't heard from Mel. Mel, what's your pet peeve today?
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I said this before, but one of my pet peeves is when you're going through a buffet line. It's not funny.
Okay.
And then people in front of you grabbing food and then put the fork or the spoon inside. It falls inside the dish. That's one of my pet peeves. And first of all, you shouldn't have a spoon inside the pan. It should be on the outside on a plate or something so that people can pick it up and put it down. Because it can your serving utensil can fall inside, whatever. But you should have. Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves.
My pet peeve is going to the smorgasbords because that's nasty.
Yeah, my pet peeve is I saw them at the restaurant at the grocery stores got those smorgasbord type things, and when you see the children and parents don't say anything,
they don't say nothing.
Take out the lid and get a donut, and how about taking all the grapes off the vine in the fruit section? And the parents let them do it. And you go get some grapes, and all you see is look like tree, branches or something, like little. And I spoke to one of the mothers, and I was gonna get some fruit. I did. I said, "Look at your little boy," and he just grabbed me just like that. And she looked at me so evil and said, "Come on," and called her son, "Come on," and didn't even correct him. So I just held my peace. And then I went to one of the guys that work in the store. I said, "Will you look at that fruit? It's all picked over." He said, "I know, that's what they do." Now that's sad.
But that's why a lot of stores they have it packaged already. and it's already in the bag or whatever. So you just gotta grab the bag and take whatever is in there.
But you can still take the grapes out because it's by the pound. So people do open those bags.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do.
It'll be costing like $10 for a bag of grapes.
I know.
And my pet peeve,
how children did that, made it hard for people to get grapes.
My pet peeve is at the job when you go to the bathroom and you know somebody's in the bathroom, they leave out without washing their hands. I just think that's the nastiest thing ever.
That is nasty.
But what if they leave and forget to flush?
What do you do, Tish, if you see them? Do you say something to them?
No.
What you do?
I've used napkins around them, like, so I don't touch anything that they touch. Because I think that's nasty.
It is nasty.
But sometimes they forget to flush. You know, that's bad too.
And then they think they have maids in the bathroom, so they don't even clean up after themselves. Like if I don't know, people, I do this. So if I'm washing my hands or something, and there's water all over the sink and everything, I'll get that paper towel and I'll wipe the water off
I do too. I do that.
And I do it like even like, oh my goodness, I went to get some coffee at the job the other day, and it was like water all over the place and coffee. Somebody spilled coffee, and they just walked. They just left it right there. So here I am, because I'm mommy's daughter. I get the paper towel, and I pretty much clean the whole sink of coffee, right? Everything. And I'm like, this is crazy. Then they have water. They drop water on the floor or something like that, and I get the paper towel, just drop it on the floor, and then clean it up with my foot. Because I don't like, being around that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I will even wash the dishes.
For real? You wash the dishes?
Sometimes I do. Because I can't stand it. Because, you're using the sink and stuff.
Yeah.
You see all these dirty dishes. So I bought my detergent.
From home?
Yes, I did. And my rag. And I washed.
And your dish rag?
And my dish rag, yes. Yes. And I washed the dishes and then put them away. Because it was just disgusting. Some things I just threw away because
you threw people's stuff away?
If it was left in there, they didn't want it. If you leave food on the table all day long, you don't want
throw that away. But why are we cleaning up after grown people? Because we don't like dirt and see all that stuff.
And people are privileged. They think they have hired maids and stuff. They just feel privileged that they don't have to do stuff. Now I cleaned up the floor with my foot.
I hate to see your house. I hate to see your house. Man, you do what? That's where we get it from, probably from you.
Yeah, I do the paper towel with my foot on the floor. Yeah, because one thing, you don't want people to fall on that water.
Yeah.
You can fall and hurt yourself for weeks, be laid up for days with something that take you 1 minute to clean up something, and you trip and fall. See that? You'll be hurt.
That's true. And then you become a millionaire. Yes, on a job.
What good is a millionaire and you're hurt? What good is that?
Because the pain will go away. Get some pain pills. So
all right,
another pet peeve is when you go to a restaurant. It was at the time I go to fast food restaurants or something with somebody. And it was like, do you want anything to drink? And it was like, no, I want anything to drink. Do you want some fries? No, I don't want any fries. Do you want such and such? No, I don't want that. Then when you pull off, they want to eat your food.
Drink all your drinks. All your drink. You can get some more. It's like, well, I'll just drink yours and you get another one. Because it's free refills.
When I was younger, that happened to me. I was with this person, and I went to go to 7-Eleven all the time. I got a Slurpee, and I was like, because I'm kind of petty a little bit, but not anymore because I'm older now. And I was like, you want a Slurpee? And they were like, no, I don't want a Slurpee. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm getting a Slurpee. So I got a Slurpee, and they picked it up and they drunk my Slurpee. And I was like, I took the Slurpee and threw it out the window.
Oh,
The whole thing, because I was just that upset. Was like, get your own. Is that
But
selfish?
girls, but did y'all ever? Did you? When I was working, sometimes they would celebrate, and you go to a restaurant and you
Mhm.
buy what you want. And I don't want to be spending all this money in the restaurant, so I would get like a salad, and some water, something like that. And these people getting all this food, just getting stuff. And guess what? When the receipt comes, they split it equally.
Oh my mom,
Yeah.
I
That is a
cannot.
pet peeve of mine too. Yeah.
That was a pet peeve of mine. And it was like, oh, we just going to split the bill. And
And
you
what
didn't
do
even
you say, Mom? What do you say? What do you say? I need to know what you say.
I paid it, then I stopped going. I stopped doing it. But then I had this accounting girl. I loved her. But she'll say, no, what did everybody get? Everybody paid what they paid for. And
Yeah.
so I just stopped doing it. I just bought my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ate at my desk.
One time they got like a drink. People were getting drinks and stuff. And it was
It's crazy.
and I was like, I didn't even eat it. I know my meal was every bit of like $10 or $15. And then all of a sudden you pay like $30 or $40 because
No, see, that don't make sense. And guess what else happened, Tish? They were taking the office managers out, and so we had these two top-notch bosses, And
Yeah.
guess what? Before we finished eating, before the bill, they said, "Oh, we got this important meeting to go to," and those two rich men left and went back to the office, and we were left with the bill.
They didn't leave that card. Because that's what we do
No,
when we have group lunches
no.
like that at the job.
No,
They
and
give
one
us
man, they took his
that
secretary out, the secretary day, and come to pay for her lunch, and his card it bounced. He didn't have no money on it, so she had to pay for both their lunches.
I would have left right with him. Wait a minute, you need a secretary?
I would probably make him. No, you make him wash dishes, huh?
Do they do that if you don't have enough money?
No.
I'm wondering if I went to a restaurant and they were like, okay, your credit card didn't go through. And you finished eating the food. Do they make you what happens
I
then?
don't know. Maybe we should try it.
No. They might call the police on you. They got automatic. They have dishwashers. They might call the police or something.
I'm curious.
And I was like, I'm so sorry, but I left my money home and you ate the food. And it's like, I want it. Mel, we should try that, Mel.
I think I am.
No.
But Mel, we should have money, right? We'll have
Right.
we'll just say we don't have any money, or we left my wallet home by mistake. Like, oh my goodness, I don't have my wallet. And just see anybody and see what happens.
Yeah. I'm willing to do that.
Would they take the bill or something? Would they be like, don't worry about it? We understand. We'll pay for it. It's on the house.
Yeah. I'm curious.
I am too, Mel.
I'm going to do it.
And then you bring your money out later. So just plain, just joking.
It depends on the flow. It depends on what the Lord's saying. Because, because it's time for a blessing.
No blessing. Y'all can look it up. Homework. Look it up online. See what happened.
I wanted to.
Huh?
No, go ahead. I'm looking for something.
One pet peeve of mine. So I don't like when I go to the store and I have this favorite dessert or cupcake or chips or something like that, and you get it all the time, whatever. Then all of a sudden, it's out of stock. They don't have them no more.
I know.
They don't sell them anymore. They know what they're not even on Amazon. I'm like, why did you make me like these things? And you're not gonna have them anymore. They discontinued. Oh,
I think when they did that at Cheesecake Factory, they had the upside down pineapple cheesecake. And it tastes like it was 7:00. Oh my goodness. I think people complain about it so much that they brought it back. I really do. Because I was like, y'all don't have it. I think so many people complain about that they brought it back because it was so good.
I'm gonna complain.
Well, how do you feel if you have your favorite and you take it home and you're ready to eat it and somebody already ate it?
Oh, I would lose my mind for real.
Yeah, you just go off a little bit and then you just take their money. Get another one. That's an easy fix.
No, you just bless them and let them eat
so
it.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in with Chilling with the Girls. And this topic wasn't our topic, it was Mommy's topic, y'all.
Oh
yeah. That was not our topic.
It was not our idea. This was Mommy's idea. Y'all know y'all love Mother Farmer. Y'all do it, y'all respect her. But I do need y'all to pray for her. No.
And we need some ideas, y'all.
Yes.
Melanie, ask them how did the other shows impact them? Oh, you know, did they?
How were y'all impacted by our other shows? We had life coaches, we had personal trainers, we had teachers. It's over our time. And just let us know and then give us some ideas. We do have other guests coming on, guys. I think next week we have somebody coming on. So tune in with Chilling with the Girls. Thank y'all so much. Have a great holiday, Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah. Be safe.
Weekend. Be
Yeah,
safe.
be
We
safe.
love you guys. All right, take care. Bye.
Pray before you go out. Yeah.